Everyone, welcome to Freedom Homestead. My name is Tangie.
I am Jack.
And it's Monday Night Live.
How is everyone doing?
Oh.
She got the big hair going tonight.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
Big. Well, I didn't do nothing with it, you can tell.
She's had this, this is 2 weeks in a row where literally minutes before we started our live, I had to wake her up from a nap.
I don't know why he's going to tell on me like that.
I gonna tell on you.
Rude. So rude. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Well, there's Southern Blessed Homestead. Hello.
Hey.
Cool.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
New feature on the chat. Oh, that's me. Okay. Hello, Katie and Amanda and Diana. Oh, thank you. I got this off of Amazon. I like it too. Mama Bear.
Yeah, it's a long sleeve t-shirt, and so she really likes.
Well, yeah. I thought when I ordered it that it was a sweatshirt. Turns out it's not. That's all right. Well, hey, Charles, I like your new logo, by the way. I meant to comment that on one of your videos, but
Bushcraft?
Yeah.
Bushcraft family?
He's got it's a new logo. It's really cool. Yeah, I actually watched I watched the food shortage update today. That was really good.
A lot of people joining us. They're all saying hi.
Yeah.
Hello back to everybody.
Hey, Miss
Somebody
Jennifer.
said they finally caught us live.
Yay, glad
awesome.
You're here.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Good deal.
I made it just in time.
Yay.
Thank you.
Wonderful. There's Miss Tony Renee and
she
Greenwich.
Needs her beauty sleep. We had supper, we sat down on the couch, and that's all it took.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Well, I was up early this morning.
Yeah. She was up very early because I got up early and you were up way before I was.
Yeah.
And you've had a stressful day today.
It's been a day, but but it's all right. I took a really hot shower, which, do y'all do this? Like, if you're stressed out, you just get in a really hot shower. You're not even really in there to wash. You just stand in it and just think. It was one of those. It was nice. Oh, yeah. And then the bathroom becomes like a sauna.
It did.
It did, yeah. But yeah.
So what's up with everybody? How's everybody doing?
Melanie said she was just over at Anna's. Yeah, we caught some of Anna's. Blame Anna for the tardiness. Well, you're here, and it's better to be late than not be here at all.
Yeah, we caught just part of her show tonight.
Yeah.
And
it is therapeutic, I agree. There's Miss Becky.
Hey.
How are you? There's never enough time. Bex says, Jack, do you have a memory of a lady who visited the cave about 8 to 10 years ago? Her name was Vicky, and she had cancer. You prayed with her and her husband?
Really?
8 to 10 years ago.
8 to 10 years ago? I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. I mean, it's possible if I saw them or I don't know.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long, long time ago.
Yep.
I've slept since then. I've definitely done a lot more seen more people in the cave. So.
Ooh, we got somebody here watching from work. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you don't get in trouble.
No, don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
But thank you for watching.
Yep, that's awesome. Mandy said, I'm a bath person myself, but yes, a nice hot soap. Yeah, I'm not a bath person. We actually have a big tub in our bathroom, and I may have, we have lived here, is it 4 years this year? 4 years this year.
No.
And I have probably used it 4 times. She said she would send an email. Bex did.
Okay.
Bex 1959.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah. A couple people mentioned the weather. It's hopefully going to be a wonderful week here.
Yes.
Which is just the opposite of last week. Last week it rained every day but one. day. It rained 6 out of 7 days last week here. And so this week, it's actually supposed to be sunshine all week.
All week.
Hopefully everything's going to dry out.
Yep. Hopefully.
And warmer weather.
Yes.
They're actually calling for mid 60s to almost 70 degrees in the next 2 or 3 days. So something just made the little puppy mad. Oh, she heard the big dog outside bark. So now she's got to bark too.
Well, and it woke her up, so she looks dazed and confused. Like,
she's like,
what are we barking at? What are we barking
Why
at?
are we barking? Oh man.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah, weather was beautiful today after our 3 days of ice in Texas. Oh gosh.
Hawkins Hill says, I have to admit, I'm kind of fangirling in this moment. Tana and Becky all in one place. You're
Wow.
so sweet. That's funny.
We are blessed. We've been able to meet and hang out with some wonderful people through this process of having a YouTube channel, and just wonderful people.
Serenity Hill Farmstead Jennifer said 50s all week here, time to tap our walnut tree. So you'll have to tell me
cool.
How does walnut syrup taste like maple syrup? I'm wondering if it's...
No, it tastes different.
You've had it?
No, but I know a little bit about tapping trees, and I know a little bit about different types of trees. I think it takes a lot more walnut syrup to make syrup than it does, I think, than maple. But
I love my
people are still talking about showers and baths. Yeah.
My old tub has flowers growing out of it this summer. Oh, how cute!
Wait, walnut syrup? What did I miss?
Oh, we have Sven from Norway. Hello, Sven.
This is kind of an open chat night. We don't have any topics to actually bring to you,
like usual.
But no, I mean, if anybody has a question, if anybody wants to know stuff, we can chat about that. If we don't know the answer, I know we've got some amazing people on here. The think tank will figure it out.
Well, we do have, I know at least one thing we can tell y'all that kind of, so last week we talked about how like we had all of this house stuff that was supposed to happen this past week. Well, guess what? Only one thing happened. And actually, two things happened. But, so, okay, let me tell you what happened.
Well, we had a little bit of a setback. Let's say that.
Because I want you all to learn from my mistake. Okay? So, you all know that in our addition that we're building, we have a knotty pine plank. And it's beautiful. I stained it myself. I used Minwax natural stain, and what it does is it leaves the pale part of the wood pale, but it makes the grain really pop, and it's just really, really beautiful, and it leaves that natural look, okay? So we decided that we were going to use that stain on the shiplap wall. Okay, so I went to Lowe's to get a gallon of the natural stain. They didn't have a gallon, they only had quarts, but to buy 4 quarts, you would end up paying like $7 more than you would for a gallon. So I went to another town, to another Lowe's, and guess what? They do not have a gallon of this stain. They just had quarts. So I was telling our builder this, and he said, well, Sherwin-Williams owns Minwax. So we had a Sherwin-Williams store, and he said, just go there and they'll mix it for you. And I said, okay, cool. So that's what I did. I went to Sherwin-Williams. I took the little can of the natural stain with me. I said, this is what I need. Can you give me a gallon of this? So obviously they didn't carry it in the gallon size, but she said, but we do have the code in our system to mix it for you. I said, perfect. So they mixed up the gallon and they sent me home. Okay. So few days later, the contractors come to stain the walls. Now, we would have done it ourselves, except we have very high ceilings. I don't have the best back, and so I did not trust myself to get up the ladder.
And I was at work.
At work, so we paid a couple of guys to come and do it for us. So they began the application process, and I went in there after they had already slapped some on the wall, and it was the wrong color. It's darker. It is not natural by any stretch of the imagination. It is brown. Okay, so what did we learn from this experience? Number one, okay, so I did actually had to call the office. Now, here's something that you all need to know about me. I am a very non-confrontational person. I do not like having to tell someone that something is wrong. I hate it. It kills my soul. But I was very distraught, and I called him at work. I called our builder because he was actually on vacation this past week. Bless his heart, because we called him every single day. It was awful. But anyway.
He was in Florida.
He was in Florida. Taking a very much needed vacation, by the way.
If he got one. I don't know if he got
I don't
one.
even think he got one. So I sent our builder pictures. I sent him pictures, and they're like, oh no, they definitely messed up. Well, so I called Sherwin-Williams, and the guy said, did they test it before you left? I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, when we mix anything for anybody, we test it to make sure that's what the customer wants before they leave. And I was like, no,
they did not test it.
That did not happen. Okay, so that was problem number one. Problem number two was that I did not test it before the guys went loose on the walls. So really, ultimately, the buck stopped with me. I should have tested it, but I didn't, because I trusted that they did the right thing.
And here's the thing, I was just getting some photos that she sent, and so from the photos, you can tell it's a different color, but I can't really tell how bad it looks or how good it looks. It's hard to tell in a photo.
Yeah.
So, and you were kind of iffy too. She's like, well, should we just go with this? And I was like, well, what do you think? And she's like, well, I mean, they've already started and they've already got a lot done. And
well, and we both, everybody agreed, it doesn't look bad.
It actually does look good.
Yeah, it's just not what we wanted, because we love the natural wood look.
Yeah.
So anyway, ultimately the buck stopped with me. It's really all my fault. I should have tested it, but I didn't. So we decided, okay, so I walked in after they had already started. It was already on a good portion of wall.
Yeah.
And
just let them put it on, and we may really like it.
We may like it. So we let them stain all the walls, and we don't like it.
No.
We just don't like it. In fact, after they put the stain on, I went to the hardware store in our little town, and I bought a couple of bottles of mineral spirits to see if getting some of it off would lighten it enough that we would like it. And the contractors, even though I told them they don't have to do this because it was my fault, I'll do it, they stayed and they helped me wipe down all the walls and all the trim. And even though it did help and it did lighten the stain a bit, it still was not at all what we wanted.
So yeah, I see a comment or two. So now we're sanding.
We are sanding it
the
off.
whole thing.
We paid them to stain it. We paid for the stain, and now he and I are sanding it off.
Somebody said no mistakes, just lessons learned. It's really hard not to say that this is a very hard lesson to learn. Well, especially I spent a couple hours late yesterday and early this morning, spent a couple more hours sanding. This is a hard lesson.
Yeah.
This is a very tiring lesson.
It's time
and it feels like I haven't even got much of it done.
Yeah.
When you look at all that room and all that wood, and what I've done,
Yeah.
and how wore out. We went to town and we bought a belt sander.
Yes, because we just had a palm sander, and
We're just like, this is going to take weeks.
I spent 3 hours on a 4-foot section of wall trying to get as much of the stain off
So
as I
I
could.
do have a belt sander now,
Yeah.
and it is faster. It's moving along faster, but belt sanders are heavy.
Yeah.
They're not made for going up and down walls. They're made for just sanding,
Yeah.
like tabletops and stuff. So it is a very, I guess, frustrating
Yeah.
thing that we have to go back and
Right.
redo all of this.
We have never done a project like this before. The only
No.
thing that I have ever stained, well, other than the planks on the ceiling, is our table, our kitchen table, and that's it.
It's turned out awesome.
It did turn out
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, it is a tough lesson learned, and boy, did we learn it.
Yeah.
And but Queen's Cabinet said it will be worth it when it's finished, and it really is. When we took the stain off, we're like, there you are. We really love natural wood. So what we're gonna do is we're going to sand it off, and then I'm gonna get, even if I have to buy 4 quarts of the natural stain, I'm gonna do it, and then we are going to stain it ourselves.
Yeah.
Just to get, so that way we know.
In our Bible
It's
study,
something that we love
we're
it.
learning how to forgive others. And I don't blame her. It's just, it happened.
I blame myself.
I know, I don't blame you at all. If any, a mistake was definitely made at the store, but then it wasn't checked.
Right.
But it's just, it is what it is. We could have stopped them halfway through.
Right, and we're kicking ourselves for that too.
And-
It's like, if anything, we could have
Yeah.
just said, okay, stop right there. Let us fix the stain situation.
Well, now that we're sanding, I was just like, oh, it'd have been so much
I
easier
know.
to just sand off half of what they done.
Yeah.
Instead of this whole entire room.
Yeah.
But
But again, another lesson learned.
Yeah.
So if you have any big home projects going, just learn from us to test the stain before you set and do a
hey,
whole room.
somebody says, I remember you doing that table before y'all moved.
Yeah, that's Chaton. Yeah, but she's
been watching a long
around
time.
a long time. Yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I do. I mean, our table still looks awesome, and it's gotten better with age. And I really actually struggled on whether or not to stain it, because when I stripped the stain off of the table,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to put anything on it. It's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, Jeanette, this is a very expensive lesson.
Yeah.
And believe me, we're kicking ourselves for it.
Yeah.
But
And yes,
anyway.
I'm a very, very patient person. So she said, I guess I'm not
I'm
as tolerant
not.
as you are.
I'm not patient at all.
He is not. In fact, before we got the new sander, which by the way, Harbor Freight's awesome. We only paid $40 for it. But before we got the
You're
new
gonna
sander,
tell on me.
yeah, we
You're
could
gonna
just
tell on me.
I mean, I use that palm sander to do that 4-foot section of wall in detail and did okay with it. But he did a plain wall with no trim, no windows. And
I was ready to throw that thing in the trash. That thing is
Yeah.
useless.
it's not, it's operator error.
Those palm sanders come with those little sheets, and it seems like you use it for 2 or 3 minutes and the sheet pops off, or the little wire. To me, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
The piece of sandpaper comes out 3 times as often as you actually get any sanding done. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or
Yeah.
1 step forward and 2 steps back.
I didn't really have that problem, so
So, well, it'll get done, but it's going to be a headache, and it's going to be many, many more days of sanding.
yeah.
And not only do we have to do this, but oh my gosh, the dust.
Oh, so much dust.
Oh, the dust. It's crazy. And
It's different than sawdust because it's like powder. And so it just like.
And we are wearing a mask and we're wearing glasses, but I'm still getting it all in my I'm not really breathing it in much, but I'm getting it all in my eyes. It just, I mean, you got glasses so nothing, flies directly in, but the dust is just everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just insane. And I guess good news is, let's talk about some good news.
Okay.
Let's,
Some positivity.
good news time.
I like positivity.
Good news time.
Yeah.
The flooring guy showed up today.
Yes.
And I would say 3/4 of the room. We keep looking over here because we're looking into the new addition.
I'd say more than 3/4.
Well, when you count your office.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you count your office, a little over half is done.
Yeah.
And that's looking great. I don't think we're going to have to go back and redo that. That's looking wonderful. It's looking great. I'm excited about that. And I think tomorrow, the gutter guy is coming. Actually,
Is it tomorrow?
I believe it is tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Wednesday, but I think he's coming tomorrow. And this is another Homestead family.
Yep.
That has a gutter business as well. So, so hopefully they will be here. They're going to be here either tomorrow or the next day, but I think tomorrow. And we'll be getting some gutters on outside.
Which I think is going to make such a huge difference, at least for our peace of mind, because still, when it rains, I mean, we're definitely better about it, but we're always checking. Like, we go down to the basement and everything, because right now, around the addition, they have like a ditch, that's dug out around it for the actual building. But the reason why it hasn't been covered back up yet is because our builder is actually going to put in a French drain system around it. Again, just to make sure that water is diverted away from the house.
So when the gutters are installed, the downspouts are going to go down into
the ground,
some drain pipes that will go out, like basically out to our driveway.
Right.
And so everything's going to be directed away. So those ditches, those ditches are dug around. The building. Ditches are dug around the house.
Yeah. So that'll be awesome.
All of that. And so last week when it rained and just didn't stop raining all week.
Right.
We had a moat.
We did. We had a moat around the house.
We literally had a moat out in our backyard around the back of the house. And so we kept running downstairs and checking.
Just to make sure. But everything looked good. It stayed dry. Yep. So, but anyway.
Thank the good Lord for that.
Yeah, so once the gutters are on and then they can backfill and get all of that situated, I think we're going to start to feel like, maybe we can relax a little bit now.
Look how far you guys have come. We have come a long way.
Yeah.
It's not us. We've been extremely blessed with so many people that have helped and said prayers for us and just helped in so many ways.
Yep. It's been a long journey. It's been almost a year.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's been...
In a couple of months, it'll be a year. It's been 10 months.
Well, in about a week, it'll be 11 months.
10
It's already been 10 months.
May 4th is a year.
Yeah.
So April will be 11.
Yeah. Okay. So, so we're right at 10 months in.
Yeah.
I got my months mixed up.
Okay, so another cool thing that happened this week is we picked up our wood stove. Well, I picked up nothing because I said, I can't pick that up. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to break this. I can't help you.
Yeah, so we do have our wood stove. It's still in the crate.
Yep.
But it's sitting right in here.
It's in here.
And I can't wait.
It is in the building. It's in the building. It's not in. It's in the building.
The wood stove's in the building.
Yep.
So we are super excited about that.
Yeah.
That thing is not light, which is good.
Yes.
I've been, when we started looking, they said, if you want a good quality wood stove, you can usually tell by how much they weigh.
Yeah.
Usually the heavier they are, the more quality the stove is.
It was funny because I can't remember who told you.
Hey.
What?
Kathy.
What?
Look what she put.
Oh, cool.
Did you put that for us, or are you saying... Now I'm confused.
Our wood stove is an Osborne 2000.
Is she saying that her wood stove is an Osborne 2000?
I don't know. Do you also
or
have one?
Our wood stove.
Yeah, that's what we got. We got an Osborne.
Because that's what we've got.
2000.
We bought the Osborne 2000.
Yeah.
If that's what you got, awesome, because we may have to talk to you.
Your wood stove. Okay.
That's cool.
Okay.
So we've got the same wood stove?
No.
Oh.
Our wood stove.
Okay. See, I'm confused.
Yeah, she said she was speaking for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I understand now. I got confused.
Yeah. Here's what's funny. So when you do research when you start looking for a wood stove, yeah, you learn a lot of things, you see a lot of things, you hear a lot of things.
Yeah, put tarps down when we restain everything.
So
we got to lay some drop cloth down.
If anybody says to you, "Oh, this wood stove is great. You can get close to it and it won't burn you." Then there's probably a problem, because wood stoves are supposed to be hot. And it was funny because I can't remember who it was that told you. They were telling you about their daughter's wood stove, and they're like, "Oh, it's great. We can get around it. We can touch it, and it's not hot." And it's like,
does it heat anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I told him, I'm like, well, that's probably not what we're looking for, because number one, I want to be able to cook on it, but like the box itself radiates the heat. So I don't know how that's a good thing. But anyway.
Kathy says, thanks for my excitement. Yeah, she got me excited. Awesome.
Let's see. Do you have to notify home insurance when you install a wood stove or fireplace in your home? I would say yes.
Yes.
We found an antique wood cook stove for a steal. Oh, that is so cool. That is very, very
really
cool.
Neat. That is cool.
But yes, I'm very excited about having a wood stove that's going to provide a peace of mind. We won't have to worry about the power going out in the wintertime. We can heat the house. We can cook. We can boil water if we need to. I'm very, very, very excited.
Yeah,
and
we're looking forward to that.
There will be videos. There will be videos. Absolutely.
I'm thinking when it's set up, or at least in place, that's definitely going to be the backdrop for some of our new lives.
Oh, hey, there you go.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah, might as well. It'll be pretty.
I mean, you love your kitchen, but that'd be a nice backdrop.
Yeah, and I love my kitchen even more when it's done.
Yeah, well, little by little.
Little by little, yeah.
Like somebody said, we've come a long, long way.
Yeah,
but,
still need to finish painting the cabinets. Got to get the hardware on there, and then
this
do
floor
the
will be
backsplash.
this floor that you're seeing here. Hopefully,
Next week, hopefully.
Hopefully, will look different next Monday.
Yes, hopefully. Yee, that's so exciting! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so hopefully next week, this will look completely different. Hopefully by the end of this week, my office will be done, and I can move my furniture in there and my stuff, and I can start doing YouTube stuff from my office. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Hey Mayhew, how are you, bud?
Hey Mayhew.
Let's see. We'll be watching your videos for tips when we move. We will be setting it up. Very, very cool. That's very exciting.
Yeah, we're newbies to the wood stove world.
We had one when I was a kid, but I mean, I was a kid.
And I never had one as a kid. But I've always wanted a fireplace. But I'm excited about this. Yeah. Probably even more excited about this.
Yeah, me too.
It's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, so
I still get to burn wood.
If you haven't heard us talk about it before, then we had a propane tank out there that we had a propane line that ran to a heater that was down in the basement. So when the basement wall collapsed, it took out that heater, but we still had the propane tank. And so when we started building the addition, we were like, well, we can utilize that propane tank and maybe get us a nice propane fireplace. So I can't remember, we started talking one day and it was like, we've always wanted a wood stove. What if instead of doing propane, we got a wood stove, and then we wouldn't be dependent on gas. We could just be dependent on resources that we could harvest ourselves, and that would be one less thing to be dependent on. And so we talked to our builder, and we're like, let's do it. Yeah. So they came and
we kind of went back and forth on it, though. I mean,
We did.
We talked about
The
it.
pros and cons.
We talked about it, and then we didn't think. I mean, that's a big chunk of money. Those things are not cheap. It's very limited, of course, with everything going on in the world right now. It's hard to find, basic stuff, let alone a specific thing that you're looking for like that. And so it was really hard to find, and we thought, well, let's just not deal with it. That will save us some money. We'll just get it finished. But then we're like, well, if we don't do it now, we'll never do it.
Right.
And we're not going to go back to the propane because, again, the price of that's going to continue over the years to go up.
Right.
I've still, hopefully we will be able to get wood fairly cheap or free.
I would say mostly free. Our builder, he lives 10 minutes from us. He has acres and acres of land, and he said, I've got all the firewood you could possibly want. So,
I've got a chainsaw.
Yep.
And, chainsaw fuel, I don't mind doing the labor now.
Right.
In these years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me again in 4 or 5 years. Be like, let's buy the wood. But
let's buy the wood. Or pay somebody to cut it for us.
But you know what they say? You chop your own wood, you get warm twice.
There you go. And it'll probably improve your health because you'll be building muscle and oh, you'll be a lumberjack.
Well, the sanding's I don't know. It's making me sore. I don't think it's making me any healthier, but it's making me sore.
Sure it is. Okay, so
just make sure you get wood. Oh, a wood moisture
meter to go along with the wood stove.
Yeah. I've had a few other people mention that to us. Well, no, they didn't mention the moisture meter, but they've mentioned a thermometer, basically.
Yes.
To go in the stovepipe right above the stove. So at least you know how hot the stove's getting, what it's burning at, and different things like that. So.
Yeah, and she was talking about how it was really, really important that we make sure we get it hot.
Yeah.
Like, not just like, sort of hot, but it needs to burn hot.
And your son can help you out.
Yes.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yes.
He'll be helping. I don't know if he'll want to. But somebody says, why get a wood moisture meter? You definitely don't want to burn wet wood. You want it dry. Sometimes if you got a campfire and you throw a piece of wood in there, and then you notice on the ends the moisture is kind of bubbling out.
I like that, Melanie. That's funny.
You definitely want good seasoned wood, and that's dry. It's gonna burn much more efficiently.
Is it a gasification model? I have no idea what that means.
It is.
Is that the one where it burns? Does the second
It's
burn?
got a secondary burn on it.
Yes.
And basically, that's about all that they're being allowed to sell right now. With the current regulations, they're very strict on what's available on the market right now.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Which is one of the reasons why wood stoves, if you guys are in the market anytime soon, they cost a fortune.
I mean, unless you can find one used, Facebook, Marketplace, eBay, whatever, yard sales, estate sales.
Mayhew said he wants to see Parker chop wood. We'll be sure to film it for you and send it to you. Let's see. Charles says it can be dangerous to burn wet wood.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot more buildup. I guess you could have the wood, actually busting and causing more damage too.
Yeah. All right, so let's turn the tide really quick
on
conversation.
Where are we going?
Okay, so we all know what is happening in our world currently, and this is a conversation that I've been having with anybody that will give me 5 seconds to listen. The kids. My daughter's boyfriend was here the other day, and I was like telling him, now listen.
I've already heard it 1,000,000 times, so go.
Well, okay then. Okay, so I know a lot of you already know this, but this is for folks who haven't thought about this. But with everything that's going on in the world, we already know that gas prices are skyrocketing. They're saying that the average gas price will easily reach $4 by April. Also because of
Freedom talk.
there you go. Oh, I like that. Also because of imminent cyber attacks and things like that, it's going to be very important that you are carrying cash with you. Because if you go to a gas station and you go in to pay for gas, there's a good chance that at some point the internet is going to be down.
Could.
So you need to make sure that you have some cash on you at all times. And hey, Minute Man, glad you're here. Also, we talk about prepping, we talk about stocking up, doing all those things. Now is a good time to start if you haven't done it, because prices are going to continue to go up. They're talking about how inflation is probably the worst it has been since the Reagan years, which was 40 years ago. So inflation, the rate of it.
I thought you said the Reagan years.
Yeah, they're saying that inflation is as bad as it was, if not worse than it was in the Reagan years. The rate of inflation.
Okay, I thought you said the Reagan years 4 years ago.
No.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I just heard wrong.
Yeah, you did.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry to derail you there for a minute.
So anyway, it is right now, it's still not too late. It's still not too late to start prepping if you haven't already. You want to make sure that when you go to the store that you grab a few extra things and set them aside. If your family likes beans and rice, then buy beans and rice. But guess what? If they don't like it, then don't buy it, because it's just going to sit there and no one's going to eat it. Learn to cook from scratch. Learn to make your own bread. One of Emily's friends posted on Facebook the other day she's, I don't even think she's turned 20 yet. And she was just talking about how, as a young person, it's very stressful. She was like, gas prices are crazy. And she's like, you can't even find bread. And then I told her, I'm like, I can teach you how to make bread. You don't have to just buy the loaf. You can actually make it. But learn to cook from scratch. Start setting things aside. Make sure you have cash on you. And always come home with your gas tank full. Anytime you can top off, make sure that you top off. So I am going to, a lot of my friends here are also preparedness minded. What else y'all got? I will also say this, my good friend Jennifer at Serenity Hill Farmstead is starting an awesome series on her channel. She's been doing it on her Instagram, but she's going to start doing First Aid Fridays on her channel.
That's a good idea.
Super awesome. She was an EMT in Chicago. And so she has a lot of medical training, and she is wanting to teach people how to, her first video that she did, she was talking about how as an EMT, you have different bags that you use. Yeah. And she said they have a bag, they call it a go bag, I think, which is the bag they grab to go to every call. Yeah. It's got just your basic stuff.
Yeah. Then you've got your trauma bag.
Right. And so she's showing you how to build some of these bags. Mm-hmm. And so she was showing what she uses in her vehicle. And
Never Enough Tom says, I watched the first one. It was really good.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really good. But she does say that if you want to have a live conversation about these things that she's doing, that you can.
Yeah, it was the Carter years with the high inflation. The Reagan years it was down.
Okay.
Way down.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, good deal. Well, just so we're clear, I wasn't around then. So
yeah, no, it was it was during the Carter years that there was the
he was on the recovering end of that.
It was the long lines of gas. No, Reagan fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The recovering. Yeah.
What was it? Trickle down economics.
Trickle down economics. That's
anyway.
It. Okay.
Speaking of her first aid thing, along with your, you definitely not only need to stock up and prep with your food pantry and learn how to do these things like she's saying, but definitely any first aid basic skills and supplies. But that reminds me, this past Saturday, just a few days ago, I got recertified in my CPR and first aid training. So I do that every 3 years. I get recertified. So, I just took my CPR recertification. And while I was in that class, they were going over a few things, and they were going over a few products. You know, here's things we could do, and you know, here's things we have available if you need to use them. And I got to thinking, you know what, I should just go buy some of those for our family. You know, simple stuff like there's a packet of powder that basically stops severe bleeding. And so if you get a big open wound that's really gushing, you can pack this, you can open it up, pour the powder on there, and it clots it. It helps your system clot up and not bleed to death. I mean, and it's just, you know, stuff like that would be great. It doesn't spoil or go bad for years. Stuff like that is just, it's good to have on hand.
Yeah. In fact, that was one of the things that Jennifer talked about in her kit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but I don't think what she has was a powder. I think hers was a like a spray or something.
Yeah. And there's a gauze. There's a gauze that is actually enriched. I think it's called a hemostatic gauze. The powder, I think, is just called Blood Stop.
Is it clot?
I think it's just called Blood Stop.
Okay.
There's versions of it for your pets.
Oh.
I know, you know, certain homesteaders, farmers, if they dehorn their cows, they'll pour that on there and they won't bleed and stuff. But
it is a powder.
There's the stuff for humans as well. Yeah. So yeah, great idea, Hein, about the first aid stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because it jarred my memory what I've been doing lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing as quick clot.
Yep. But yeah, so I think, you know, it's just a good time if you haven't already started thinking about these things. It's a good time to think about them. I think with internet disruption, that's going to cause a lot of headache. So
yeah,
that's
it's
just
called Blood Stop. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So it could mess up communication. There's just a lot of things that it affects because everything is online. So it's definitely good to think about these things and just be prepared in the event that you run into it. Have a good way to communicate if you can.
Somebody's asking a good question, an honest question. It says, why do you think we need to do all this? Are the banks and restaurants closing?
No.
No, I don't foresee that happening unless things get really out of control. I don't see that happening. It would be great to not be dependent on everything else for your needs. We just think, and this is just our opinion. I mean, we would like to know that if something bad happened where we couldn't get out of our house or go get something for a week, we're okay.
Yeah.
And if it turned into a couple of weeks, what if it's just an ice storm? You know, it may not be the economy collapsing and world war. It could be just a bad ice storm or another tornado. I mean, our town just got hit with a tornado a few months ago, and people have nothing for weeks, or you know, around here.
Right.
So yeah, we just think it's a good idea to always be prepared.
Yes. Yeah, and what we're talking about, the reason why we're talking about this again is because everything that is going on overseas. Russia has mentioned
Cyber attacks.
Yeah, launching cyber attacks and things like that. So if the internet gets messed up, that is going to cause a lot of issues because everything that we do is online.
Well,
you go to the store, you pay, and it's their
the supply
registers
chain
are
is
online.
the supply chain has been bad for a while now anyway,
Right.
and that would just make it substantially worse. So yeah, you just we're just thinking outside the box because there's a lot of uncertainty going on right now. We're not trying to create panic.
No.
I'm not panicking.
No, me neither.
But also want to know that if things did escalate and you needed to know you could take care of yourself for a while, it's just a good peace of mind.
Yep, exactly. And what did, oh, somebody asked if I would show you how to make bread. I actually have 2 videos. I have one called The Best Sandwich Bread Ever. And then I have another one, I think is just white sandwich bread. So I do have 2 videos that I show you how I do
Minuteman
that.
Homestead
Hey, Jason.
mentions spoiled honey. I didn't know honey could spoil. True honey will never go bad. I don't think.
But yeah, but what?
But he's talking about if it congeals stuff. It's also good for wounds and stuff
So
like
I
that.
think he means
for
like
medical
when it
purposes.
granulates. I think is that what you mean? Because
Yeah.
I know like we have honey.
But that doesn't mean it's bad.
No, we've had honey that has granulated, but
Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely crystallize. Yeah, when they crystallize.
I said granulated. I meant crystallized. Yeah. Hey Terry, grew up with basic OTC medicine box reviewed every year, and also basic Band-Aid and bandaging kit. It is something we continue today. That's a good practice. Let's see. Yeah, crystallize is what he meant. We're steadily gaining skills to thrive on our own. This year is my 2nd year gardening. Excellent. I know I'll know better what to do. Yeah, that's another thing.
What?
If you can start gardening, this is a great time to do it. We have some gardening videos. We have a lot of friends with great gardening videos. If you have
You used to call your garden the Victory Garden.
I still do.
Well, yeah.
And really,
Freedom Homestead, Victory Garden.
yeah, we have
and
the
that all
Freedom
goes
Garden,
back.
Victory Garden, and the Liberty Garden.
Yeah, that goes back to, was it World War One or
World
two?
War II.
2? Yeah.
So yeah, but that is something that you can do is you can plant yourself a Victory Garden, and that will help hopefully offset some of the inflation. As a matter of fact,
And you'll be eating food that's probably the best food you can eat.
Yes, absolutely.
When you grow your own food.
And don't think, well, I can't have a big, huge garden and I don't know how to can. Like, I'm not going to grow enough. Every little bit that you do helps. Every little bit that you do helps.
You got a couple of pots with tomato plants?
Yeah.
That'd be the best tomato sandwich you could eat.
Absolutely. So I do have a code that you can use if you want to shop for seeds on MI Gardener's website. My code is TCW10, and that will save you 10%. He has the best price seeds anywhere, excellent germination rate, awesome folks. If you go to migardener.com, he's got non-GMO, organic, heirloom varieties. I believe he might have some hybrid varieties, but can't say good enough about them.
And we have stocked up on the seeds, and Lord willing, this week lots of stuff gets done, and we start getting our yard back so we can start getting our garden prepared.
Yep, and if you feel
I'm
so
ready to plant some seeds.
Oh, me too. If you also feel so inclined, you might want to learn how to save seeds as well, because as you all know, last year's seeds were really hard to get because everybody was wanting to learn how to garden.
Yeah.
So learning how to save your own seeds is another wonderful skill to have. I have some. I don't have I don't have videos on how to save all the seeds, but I do have some seed saving videos. Let's see. Hey, Carol. But yeah, so that is another great skill to learn. And if you don't want to learn how to can, or if you don't feel like you have the means to do that just yet, learn how to dehydrate. That is another great way that you can preserve some foods, and then you don't have to have any special equipment to do it. You can do air drying, you can dehydrate it in your oven, and there are some food dehydrators that are very inexpensive.
Yeah. And Bushcraft Family, he said, yeah, seeds have gone up a lot from last year, and that's the good thing is MI Gardener, they've tried to keep theirs as low as possible, but use her discount.
Yeah.
And then you get 10% off that.
Well, again, his seeds are $2 a pack, and then you use my 20% or my 10% off, then that makes it $1.80 a pack. He was $1 for the longest time, but whenever postage went up, they had to make their prices go up.
Because they ship it all out.
If you buy $12 or more in seeds, you get free shipping. So if you
I didn't know that.
If you buy fertilizer, that's a whole different thing because fertilizer is very heavy. But $12 or more in seeds, you get free shipping. You buy at least 2 packs, you're going to get a bonus pack. So that's really good info. So be sure to check them out and use my code. And I will disclose that it is an affiliate code, which means that we get a small percentage, and that helps us out here. So so that is something.
Yeah. It's awesome that we're able to just work with him, my gardener, and be we feel like we're kind of almost part of that family, and it's just awesome. We highly recommend him. But I like how there's also other topics and discussions going on in the chat.
Absolutely.
Still talking about blood clots or clotting blood and using different things. So yeah, just I like the discussions.
Yeah, I do too. And this is, I mean, it's really important to be having these conversations, and not only when stressful things are happening, but I mean, this is conversations that we should be having all the time because you just never know, you know, what could be happening. So thank you for the 10-minute warning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So let's see. I was trying to think. Do we have any other quick tips, things to think about during stressful times?
I didn't think we had a whole lot to talk about tonight, but man, after we talked about the snafu with our stain and having to sand everything down, and then the wood stove and the flooring and things we've got going on, and then you talking about, you know, just being prepared. Well, it turned out we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
and good discussions going on.
Yeah.
I love this community. Our Homestead community is by far the best community to be a part of.
Yes.
Not just because we're not focusing on one thing. You know, we could talk for an hour about gardening and the best vegetables to grow, but, you know, we could easily talk about 100 other subjects, and usually we kind of mix and mash it up, but it's awesome. There's just so much valuable information that is shared through the homestead and homesteading, I guess, family or community that we get to be a part of online. I love these Monday Night Lives.
I will say this too. Another thing that I just want to throw out there is that you also do not have to be a gardener in order to set food aside. You can still home can if you're comfortable with doing that, if you're ready to learn a new skill. So this week, my friend Constance at A Good Life Farm, my mind just like went at A Good Life Farm. We were talking earlier this week. She'd gone to the store and she'd bought potatoes and carrots to can to stock her pantry. And I was like, oh, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
And then my friend Julie over at Row & Co Farms, she got an Azure standard order. Some of her onions were a little soft, so she cut them all up. She threw them into her Instapot. She caramelized them and she canned them. And then my friend Anna at Fermented Homestead, she has chicken.
She did a giveaway tonight, didn't she?
Did she?
I think so.
I don't know. I didn't see it. But she was canning some chicken. I have some ground beef that I'm going to be canning. So there's a lot of things that you can get from the store or your local farmer's market or whatever that you can preserve at home to put away on your shelf. Just look for the sales. And then that's how you can do that as well.
Minuteman, with I'll just say this, with COVID going on, and I don't know, we're going to be blocked now that we've said the word, but I just haven't been able to get any caving videos up lately. I haven't really been caving in over a year. Now I spend every week in a cave, but I'm just walking around in a cave. I'm studying stuff.
Hey, Rachel
I'm
and Todd.
researching stuff. I'm taking people on tours, but I haven't been caving, like cave exploring, in a long time. So.
Oh, you should tell them really quick about the call you got last Sunday.
Well, I don't know. Let's just say I did get a call last week. There was, you know, exploring caves is a very dangerous activity. And, you know, if you do it long enough, sometimes you're going to have an accident. So I got a call last week at 2:30 in the morning to see if we could help somebody that had had an accident in the cave. And I talked to them a little bit about, you know, the difficulty of that area to get into and out. And they told me to just hang tight, be on standby. And, you know, later on that morning, it was, I think, it was a 12 to 15 hour ordeal, but the person is okay. The person got out okay. The person is a cave professional, and you know, everything was taken care of, but it was an ordeal, and you just never know sometimes. So the caving community that I'm a part of, we really look out for each other. And if someone does get hurt, we're there to get up and go and help. But this was one of those near miss cases that turned out well.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah. So if you ever decide that you want to go caving,
Yeah.
just
And that's
be
another
very,
reason.
very
That's
careful.
another reason I always want to keep my CPR recertification, you know, up to date and all that.
And it's also why I want to make sure that I am always above ground.
Yeah.
Let's see, tomato skins and seeds need to be taken out, not eaten specifically for people with arthritis. It causes inflammation. I love tomatoes, but I've noticed a big difference not eating this. Well, that is interesting. Let's see. Temperature regulation has got to be so difficult in the ground for caving.
You know, the caves around here are really nice and cool, but once you start crawling and climbing, you can get heat exhaustion really quickly. You really, you know, it's a very intense sport, if you want to say it like that. Very intense activity.
He said, want to go caving, what's your retainer?
I'm not allowed. Well,
$400
nah. I need some extra money.
and $50.
We gotta re-stain this whole house.
No, or at least the whole room.
Yeah, that whole room.
Let's see, how are we on time? We got 4 minutes.
Okay.
4 minutes. Yes, prayers for the people in Ukraine. I'm telling you what,
Absolutely.
you talk about some brave citizens. It has been so heartbreaking, but also, I don't know what the word is. Seeing I watched a clip where they were standing in line waiting for their weapons. Okay, this is a nation where you are not allowed to have a firearm.
This is a lesson in true patriotism. You know, basically defending your home.
Yeah.
I told you yesterday. I said it's like somebody wanting to break in our house, kill the family, and just take the house because they want our house. And you know, they're doing everything they can to say, stay out of my house. But yeah, keep them in your prayers.
Yeah.
You know, this is just, it's terrible.
It's
senseless. So pray.
Yep.
Pray.
Absolutely. And that's another thing too, is seeing videos of people getting down in the square of the Capitol and praying. People having church services in subways.
You know, even if Ukraine loses this invasion, and Russia, you know, gets this country, just keep at least pray that these citizens aren't getting massacred and killed left and right. So again, just pray for them.
Yeah, but I just, you know, if something like that happened here. Would our citizens be brave enough? I know there would definitely be some, for sure. But I don't know. But anyway, yes, definitely keep them in your prayers. Oh, somebody asked if we were having book club this week. Yes, we are. I believe we're going to try to keep it at the same time, which is 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So that is Wednesday, and we are talking about the book Beyond Labels by Sina McCullough and Joel Salatin. This is for Wellness Wednesday,
Yeah.
and we are going to be discussing chapter 3, which is very, very short.
And I think your first video went over really well.
We had such a great time. We definitely have some plans to do later, but it's very, very enjoyable. So if you love real food, if you are sick and tired of all of the diet gimmicks, you just want to get down to the facts. What's good food? What are we supposed to be eating? Then this is a really fantastic book written by a farmer and a natural nutritionist. So really, really good stuff. Show, because heck yes, I agree, Miss Bessie. Absolutely. All right, you guys.
Yes, thanks so much for joining us for our live show tonight. You guys are awesome as always. Our moderators, you guys are
the
awesome.
Best. Y'all are the
yes,
best.
Thank y'all so much.
You're simply the best. Boom, boom, boom. Better than
Well, you're awake
all
now.
the rest.
Well, a little nap did you good, didn't it?
Yes, it did. I needed it. I needed it. I think I only slept for like 10 minutes. Was it 10 minutes? Was it longer than 10 minutes?
I think it's a little longer, but it was a short nap.
I get sucked into a timeline. The name of the book is Beyond Labels.
Yeah.
By Joel Salatin and Sina, S-I-N-A, McCullough. The last I looked on Amazon, it was on sale for $20. I paid $25 for it, and that was because I was at the Homestead conference. It's usually $30. So $20 is an excellent deal if you can. Also, if you get Kindle Unlimited, it's on there, so you don't have to pay for it. It's already on there. And I do believe there's also an Audible version.
Yes, we heard there was.
All right.
Yeah, Southern Bless said that 10-minute power nap.
Oh, yeah.
10-minute power nap. Now you had Max singing with you.
All right. Oh, mate. All right, you guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. As always, this hour just flies by.
Yep.
Sometimes when we're really tired, we'll say, let's try to keep it short. We always do the hour.
No.
Every single time.
Don't forget to hit the like button. That really helps. Believe it or not, it does.
It does.
We appreciate it.
It does. YouTube goes, hey, what?
Yeah.
Oh, people actually like this? Okay, let's share it.
People like homesteading?
What in the world? All right, you guys are amazing. We appreciate you all so much, and definitely be prayerful. Actually, everything that we normally say, be vigilant. Really be vigilant. Really be prayerful. Mm-hmm. Not just for the Ukraine, but for our leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lord can work miracles, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's pray for our military. Let's pray for our country. Let's pray for one another. And be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
God bless. Have a good week.
Yes.
We'll see ya.
See you next time.